two brothers built the fast food industry. By the 1950s, they were making more money than they ever needed. Then one man showed up. And within a few years, he owned everything. Their name. Their system. Their company. The brothers? Left with almost nothing while their name turned into a global empire. No lawsuit. No fraud. No crime. His name was Ray Kroc. In 1954, he was a 52-year-old milkshake machine salesman driving across America with diabetes, a bad heart, and a failing marriage. He wasn't the inventor. He wasn't the genius behind the system. But he saw something the brothers didn't. And he was willing to push it further than they ever would. That gap between what they saw and what he saw is what this entire story is about. Before Ray Kroc, there were Dick and Mac McDonald. Two brothers from New Hampshire who opened a roadside restaurant in San Bernardino, California in 1940. Nothing special. Long menu. Slow service. Just another diner. Then in 1948, they made a decision that changed everything. They shut it down. Fired everyone. Redesigned the entire kitchen from scratch. Mapped it on a tennis court with chalk every station, every movement, every second. Cut the menu down to 9 items. Drilled every step until it was automatic. If this failed, they were done. It didn't fail. They called it the speedy service system. Your food was ready in 30 seconds. Hot. Consistent. 15 cents for a burger. People thought they were insane. Within a year, the line was out the door. Every single day. By the mid-1950s, Dick and Mac were clearing $100,000 a year net from one location. Over $1 million in today's money. They had a handful of loosely run franchises, no interest in aggressive expansion, and a life they genuinely loved. They were happy. And that's exactly why they didn't push further. That should have been the end of the story. It wasn't. Ray Kroc got an order for 8 milkshake machines from one location. Not one. 8. He drove out to San Bernardino just to see what kind of operation needed that many machines. He stood in that parking lot and watched. The volume. The speed. Working-class families getting hot food faster than they'd ever experienced. He didn't see a restaurant. He saw an empire. Kroc approached the brothers. He'd be their national franchising agent, handle all the expansion, they'd get a percentage of everything. The brothers were skeptical. They'd tried franchising. It was messy. But Kroc was the kind of persistent that only comes from a man with nothing left to lose. They signed in 1954. Kroc got the rights to franchise McDonald's across America. The brothers got 0.5% of gross sales from every location he opened. They thought they were protected approval rights over every decision. Menu. Suppliers. Layout. Everything. They trusted him. That was the mistake. And this is where Kroc stopped playing fair. Stores were opening and losing money. He was weeks away from collapse. And here's the part most people get wrong about Ray Kroc. People call him a genius. A visionary. But in 1959, he was a 57-year-old man on the verge of bankruptcy running a franchise operation that wasn't making real money. He didn't figure it out himself. One sentence from a financial advisor named Harry Sonneborn changed everything. Ray, you're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business. That one sentence flipped the entire business. Instead of just franchising the brand, Kroc's company would buy or lease the land, then rent it to franchisees at a markup. McDonald's made money whether the franchisee succeeded or failed. The real profit was never the burger. It was the ground the burger was sold on. McDonald's became one of the largest real estate owners in the world. The brothers never saw it coming. On paper, everything still looked normal. It wasn't. By 1961, Kroc had had enough. He went to the brothers with a buyout offer. He wanted everything. The name. The system. Total control. They came back with a number, $2.7 million. Kroc didn't have $2.7 million. He scrambled. Borrowed from investors. Gave up equity in his own company to raise it. But he paid it. And then one final request from the brothers. Their original location. The San Bernardino restaurant. The one they'd built from nothing. The one Kroc had walked into and seen the future. They wanted to keep it. Just that one store. Their retirement income. Kroc said fine. There was no clause. No paperwork. Just a handshake. They thought the deal was done. Kroc knew it was just beginning. This one decision changed everything. Kroc opened a McDonald's franchise directly across the street. The brothers' restaurant, doing $175,000 a year, collapsed overnight. They couldn't compete with his supply chain, his marketing, his infrastructure. They renamed it the Big M. It struggled. Then it died. Dick McDonald said later, "We would have been better off never meeting Ray Kroc." And the 0.5% royalty from the original deal, the one that would have been worth hundreds of millions as McDonald's expanded globally? The buyout canceled it. Gone. The brothers walked away with $2.7 million, split two ways, taxed, and no ongoing stake in what became a $40 billion company. Dick estimated that keeping their royalty clause would have paid them over $100 million by 1970 alone. Mac McDonald died in 1971. Dick lived until 1998. He watched McDonald's become the most recognized brand on the planet, a brand that still carries his family name, and owned none of it. Ray Kroc died in 1984 worth $600 million. Business Hall of Fame. Books. Movies. Case studies. In his autobiography, he wrote, "If any of my competitors were drowning, I'd stick a hose in their mouth." He said the quiet part out loud. The brothers built the system. Kroc built the empire. But only one of them understood what they actually had. And by the time the others realized it, it was already gone. This isn't a story about fraud. Kroc didn't break a single law. He used the contract. Found the gaps. Played to win while the brothers played to stay comfortable. Knowing what you have is worth nothing if someone else knows it better. And this wasn't the last time this happened. Apple. Steve Jobs. Same pattern, but this time, the ending was very different. That story is next.